Okay, we are doing chapter 1. Okay, so we will continue from where we reached before. Okay. We have been doing solving quadratic equation by completing the square. This is we had it in our previous class, and just to remind you, just equation like this. If we want to solve it by completing the bracket, first what شوف الكوفيشنت بتاع الاكس سكوير وفي coefficient, then we divide كل terms. وهنا طبعا what we do في left hand side we have to do it in the right hand side, so all the terms will divide it over that coefficient, and here it is 2, so we divide كلهم على 2 يبقى ال coefficient now just x بتاع x square is 1. And then after, take the constant, a constant, to the other side, okay? And then look at the terms اللي هم هنا x square minus 4x square. In particular, look after this term. If we want to complete the bracket, what you do? هنا you divide this over 2 هيديني اللي هو the second term or the middle term. Look at its coefficient and divide it over 2. So this is going to give me the A. اللي هو احنا هنا this is the A. اللي هي الإيكويشن أنا عايزة أعمل I want to make it x plus A the whole square, and this is if you expand it you're going to get x square plus twice first في second يعني 2x في A which is 2ax, this one, and then plus the last term square, this when we're expanding the square bracket. So what I'm actually looking for this term, okay? I'm looking for this term to add it to have a complete bracket like that. So what do? We divide a middle term over 2. It will give me the A when I divide it, because this is x. خلاص x, which is from here. This is I don't want it. Okay, just I want the A. So the A is just the minus 4 over what? Over 2. So it is minus A. اللي هو minus 2. Okay. يبقى what is the A square؟ اللي هو minus 2 square اللي هي هتبقى 4. يبقى you're going to add 4. But to keep the equation or to find an equivalent equation, what you do for the left hand side, you have to do it as well for the right hand side. يبقى here I'm going to add 4, and the same I'm going to add it here. Okay, ال4 again جبناه من وين؟ قسمنا. We have to divide the middle term over 2. The middle term over 2 هيديني شنو؟ It will give me A, but I'm not going to add the A. I'm going to add A square. So I'm going to add 4. So 4 here and 4 here. Okay. يبقى now this one I know that it is a complete bracket. Okay, or a complete square. يبقى now I can factorize it. الفactorizing easy من غير أي تفكير. It's going to be x minus x plus a. But what is a? A is minus 2. صح؟ لأنه أنا أساسا جبت ال a في الأول اللي هي minus 2. So it's going to be x وأخذ تلغيم حقة ال a اللي هي minus 2 the whole square. And make sure if you expand this, you're going to get that. And now your equation is just like x minus 2 the whole square is equal to 12. What you do? Take the square root for both hands. So x minus 2 is going to be equal to plus or minus this one اللي هي 12. Now take the 2 to the other side and you will get the 2 solution. This is actually we did it before, correct? This part I believe it's clear. Okay, now يعني for now we knew ليه we added 4 رغد why we added 4 احنا قلنا شنو هنا عايزين نحل المعادلة دي بإكمال المربع. We want to solve it by completing the bracket. How we do that? We want to have a complete bracket يعني يكون like this because before I don't remember in which slide we knew before إنه how to solve this kind of equations. I don't remember which slide. If we have something square maybe at the very beginning, maybe at the very beginning before this before. Let me remind you. No, I don't remember which PowerPoint before, but we had it. Yeah. The imaginary. When you have okay. أيوة, here. We know if we can have an equation like this, is easily we can solve it, correct? Because something square is equal to 5. So have the square root for both sides. يبقى هيكون x minus 3 is equal to plus or minus the square root of this quantity, and then we can continue. يبقى if we have an equation in this form اللي هي quadratic equation, one of the ways to solve it, especially لو كان هنا طبعا في constant and I cannot factorize easily, I can go this way. انه هعمل شنو احاول اعملها like this one before here to have full square bracket is equal to a number. اوكي طيب يبقى شنو اي يبقى هنضيفها الاربعه عشان نكمل البراكت. يس exactly. طيب خلينا نشوف تاني دي الايكويشن first divide على 2 بقت الايكويشن شكلها كده. طيب I want to make it something is اول حاجه we take this 8 take it to the other hand خلاص بقت كده. Now I want to make this a complete bracket. This one. I want to make this one a complete bracket. So what is the missing number here such that this one will be a complete bracket. الرقم المفقود شنو؟ احنا قلنا خدت لك الايكويشن عشان اذكرك بها صح؟ قلت لك شنو؟ دايما if I have a square bracket like that when we expand it لما تفكه هيبقى شنو؟ x square plus twice ده في ده 2 في ده في ده. So 2ax plus a square. Yes. طيب already I have the x square here and I have this 2ax اللي هي minus 4x. يبقى what is missing? What is missing؟ يا ترى رقم هو الميسنج. طيب قارن ده يبدا لما I compare this part by this part هيديني شنو؟ minus 4 هي عباره عن 2a. يبقى ال a بكم؟ إذا كانت 2a ب minus 4 يبقى ال a ب minus 2 correct؟ يبقى I knew the a is minus 2. So now يبقى ال a square هي كم؟ is ال a عندنا من الأول طلعنا شنو؟ 2a is equal to minus 4. This implies ال a هتساوي شنو؟ هتساوي minus 2. Okay طلعت ال a. But what I need the a square. So a square is equal to 4. يبقى this is why I have to add 4 here. But to have the equation equality holds, what I did in the left hand side, I should do it for right hand side as well here. Okay? So يبقى now I know that this is a full square. It is just like this one here. Okay? يبقى it is equivalent to what? this part, how can I write it else? I can write it as a square bracket x plus the a square. But what is the a? A here minus 2. So minus 2 the whole square. So this one, actually, it is the same as this one. They are the same. And now the right hand side, 8 plus 4 is equal to 12. Clear now? And now we reach, and this one is equal to this. We continue solving the problem. Okay. طيب, another way to solve a quadratic equation, احنا لحد هسه عرفنا we can factorize لما يكون عندي if it's possible. Okay. لو كان عندي a bracket square اللي هي is equal to some constant, we knew how to solve this. We knew how to solve by completing the bracket اللي هو completing the bracket, صح? Now we will have a certain formula اللي هي بنسميها الquadratic formula. If we have any equation like this which is quadratic, احنا قلنا the highest degree الحاجتي بتاعت the term is 2. So this is a quadratic equation and it has 3 terms like that. How we can solve it? We can solve it also using the quadratic formula. We can immediately, and this is the most easiest way, immediately get the solution of the values of x is equal to minus b اللي هو coefficient ده plus or minus the square root of b, this b square minus 4ac, this is the a, this is the c, so minus 4 في a في c, and then the whole over twice the coefficient of the x square, which is twice a. Is it clear? يبقى, for instance, if we took the previous equation 2x square minus 8x minus 16 equal to 0, اللي هي كانت 2x square minus 8x plus 16 is equal to 0. Plus 16 or minus 16. Minus 16 equal to 0. Sorry. Minus 16 is equal to 0. Can we solve it using this formula as well? Yes. What is the A? ال A هتساوي 2. What is the B? Is equal to minus 8. What is the C? It is equal to 16. So just put it here in the formula and immediately you're going to get 2 solutions. Why? Because one time you're going to add and the second time you're going to subtract. So you will get the values and go and try it again. اللي هو حيكون عندك minus b minus minus 8 اللي هي plus 8 plus or minus the square root of what is the b square? I'll be 8 square 64 minus 4 في a في c. What is the a? It is 2. What is the c? 16. So حيكون 4 في 2 ب 8 and then 8 times 16 and then over 2a to get the solution. What is it? A حقتنا كانت 2, so 2 في 2 which is the 4 like that. Okay. Okay. السكس هنا minus 4 c minus 16 ما 16 بس minus 16. Okay. So solve it, you're going to end up with the same solution. لما تعمل calculation هتلقى نفس results here. The first solution is going to be 2 plus 2 square root of 3. And the other one is going to be, طبعا you can simplify this to make sure. Here actually you can take the 2 if you want inside, or just find the square root of 3 and then multiply it times 2. And then 2 plus this quantity, and the next time 2 minus this quantity. You will find this solution and that solution, they are typically the same type. Okay, now we want to talk about the solution itself. Okay. To know that what kind of solution you have or you will have, you have to look after what is under the square root here. The quantity b square minus 4ac. Why? Because there is the square root. If under the square root is a negative quantity, we said before what we said. We said if under the square root is a negative quantity, ده معناها I have an imaginary part. صح؟ لأنه يعني مثلا for instance square root لو قلنا مثلا of minus 48, this is we can write it as square root of minus 1 في square root of 48, correct? So this is going to be equal to square root of 48 and this part is I. Okay, so هيبقى ايوه طبعا تاخد الدرجه الكامله. اي طريقه ممكن تحلها بها وانس انه قال لك حل معادله او انا عايز احل المعادله احل باي طريقه من الطرق. طيب اللي بيهمني now اذا كان تحت السكوير روت كميه سالبه يبقى حيكون شنو؟ حيكون الحل imaginary. هلقى complex number صح؟ لانه جذر التربيع لناقص quantity it is شنو؟ لو استعملت الكالكوليتر حيجيك undefined. so فيه imaginary part this part. يبقى هاخد مثلا لو كان جاني تحت الجذر الكميه اللي هنا دي minus 48 يبقى square root of minus 48 which is square root of minus 1 في square root of 48 that is square root of 48i. اوكي طيب يبقى السوليوشن حقي إذا كان عندي under the square root a negative quantity حيكون شنو؟ حيديني حلين والاثنين حيكونوا شنو؟ imaginary. الاثنين حيكونوا تخيلات الحلين. بالبلس الحل الأول والبالماينس الحل الثاني. يبقى two solutions and both they are imaginary. طيب ال other thing that may happen الحاجة الثانية ممكن تحصل ممكن كان يديني this under the square root يطلع بزيرو. متى ممكن يطلع بزيرو؟ when إذا كان عندي طيب السكند كيس إذا كان طلع لي البي سكوير بتساوي 4AC يبقى this minus this هيطلع بشنو؟ هيطلع بيساوي زيرو صح ولا لا؟ إذا كان بي يبقى ال under the square root هيساوي زيرو. under the square root يساوي زيرو. square root of zero is zero correct؟ يبقى في الحالة دي هيكون عندنا الحل هيكون بيساوي شنو؟ هيساوي minus b over 2a. يبقى هيكون عندي one solution. هيكون عندي حل واحد لأنه plus or minus zero so nothing will change correct. يبقى هيكون عندي حل وحيد اوكي اللي هو minus b over 2a اوكي. طيب the third condition الحالة الثالثة انه يحصل شنو؟ يبقى الفيرست يكون عندي حلين تخيلين او حل وحيد او يكون عندي two different solutions. متى يكون عندي دي two different solution؟ لما يكون عندي البي سكوير is greater than ال 4AC. إذا كان أكبر يبقى حيطلع العدد شنو؟ حيطلع positive. الكمية اللي هنا حتطلع حتبقى شنو؟ حتبقى positive. يبقى الجذر التربيعي لكمية موجبة I can find it using your calculator. Correct؟ يبقى حيكون minus B plus or minus a number. Let's say K مثلا. صح؟ and then over 2A. then بالبلس K والمرة الجاية I'm going to solve حتديني شنو؟ minus B minus K and then over 2A. صح؟ الحل الأول minus B plus ال K. الحل الثاني minus B minus ال K and then over 2A. طبعا كل واحد فيهم. أوكي؟ يبقى we can have أي quadratic equation we can have one of three. either I get two imaginary solutions وده بيحصل 200 لما يكون b square minus 4ac كمية مالها نيجاتيف أقل من زيرو لأنه حيكون في جذر في جذر حاجة بالسالب. أو يكون عندي حل وحيد only a unique solution or one solution لأنه في شنو؟ because b square minus 4ac equal to 0 يبقى الترم ده اختفى بتاع البلس والماينس ده بزيرو. اوكي يبقى حيكون عندي one solution rational ليه؟ لأنه بقدر أكتبه عدد على عدد. So we call it rational solution. طيب the last اللي هو الحل الثالث إنه يكون this quantity ال b square أكبر من ال 4ac. يبقى لما أطرح هتديني شنو؟ when I subtract I'm going to get a number that is greater than 0. Okay, so square root حقه I can find it and then minus b plus this number. مرة جاية minus b minus this number and then طبعا each one of them you divide over 2a. So you can have two real solutions. Okay, clear؟ يبقى لازم نحفظ إذا ما حافظينها this formula. If we have any quadratic, make sure أول حاجة إنها quadratic equation, then we can solve it using the quadratic formula اللي هي x بتساوي minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a. I want to show you something. What do we mean by the solution? So you don't forget. Always, if you have a quadratic equation, معادلة الدرجة الثانية, if you draw them, you're going to find either a parabola that is open up or a parabola that is open down like that. Okay? This depends on a sign بتاعت ال A. لو كانت ال A positive, so it's opening up. لو كانت negative, معناه opening down. Okay? Like this. طيب. Now, let's assume, okay, لو كان عندي x axis حقي here like this. يبقى in this case I'll get how many solution؟ هيكون عندي two solution, real solutions, correct؟ طيب لو كان x axis حقي like this, so the axis will meet like this. So that means only one point. Okay, here الانترسكشن هيكون وين؟ only في البوينت دي. So this is the solution حقك اللي هو when it's equal to the zero يبقى عندي only one solution. طيب else كان ممكن يكون شنو؟ كان ممكن يكون the line like here. Okay, so there is no point of intersection. That means there is no solution. And this is الحالة الثانية بتاعت imaginary anyway. Okay, so either they will have one solution, okay, or two solutions or no solution. في حالة وبنكتب الحل imaginary solution we will write it. Okay, نطلع القيم حقته from here. But that means this line will never meet the اسمه شنو x axis will never meet your curve anywhere. Okay. طيب let's solve this equation. 2x squared minus 3x plus 7 is equal to the 0. First of all, we have to write the formula. Make sure that you write the formula اللي هي minus اللي هي القيم بتاعتي بتاعت الx's equal to minus b plus or minus square root of b square minus 4ac over 2a and find the a. So this one is the a and the minus 3 is the b. Well, a c is 7. And then substitute where in this formula. Okay, so you will end up by this. Okay, بعد ما تعمل السبستيوشن تعمل الكالكوليشن اللي هي minus 3 square, okay, which is 9. Then 9 minus 4 في 2 في 7, 4 في 2 ب 8, 8 في 7 ب 56. So 9 minus 56, which is minus 47. Okay. No, you don't have to sketch any graph. Just أنا عشان to remind you عشان you don't forget أنه معادلة الدرجة الثانية always they will have either two solution or one solution or imaginary solutions. Okay. طيب يبقى شنو؟ Now a solution you can simplify the square root of 40 minus 47 here. This is, we can write it as what? Square root of minus 1 phi the square root of 47. So this term is the I, correct? So it is square root of 47 I. this part. Yes. Okay. And then each one of them over 2. يعني هيبقى solution 3 plus or minus square root of 47i the whole over 4 اللي هي معناها this part over 4 and this part over 4 like that. If you want to simplify more, طبعا you cannot add this quantity. Can I calculate this and add this to this ولا subtract? No, never. Why? Because this is imaginary part, and we said imaginary part, we cannot add it to this part. Clear? Okay. Now here another example to determine the number and the type of solution for the equation. This one, يبقى I have to say either I have two imaginary solution or one unique solution or two real solution, and this we know it from where? From the part b square. عرفنا احنا حنعين للبارت b square minus 4ac لانه this the part اللي هو under the square root. صح؟ الفورميلا كانت plus or minus هنا عندي b square plus or sorry minus b plus or minus square root of كده على 2a, correct? أنا اللي بيهمني عشان to know a type of the solution to look after this part here. Okay? يبقى هطلع البي والاي والسي and substitute with them. اوكي وهعوض في الفورميلا طلعت بماينس. يبقى that means under the square root we have minus. يبقى we have two imaginary solutions. صح؟ لأنه هنا الجزء دي طلع بالنيجاتيف. يبقى the equation has two imaginary solutions. Okay. يبقى لو سألني من التايب وعدد الحلول I have just to consider this. ما عايز الحل نفسه. He don't want the solution itself. He need is this real or and how many solution. يبقى two imaginary in this case. Is it clear? Yeah. طيب. A quadratic equation there are many applications using the quadratic equation. هي معادلة الدرجة الثانية مثلا Pythagoras theorem for instance. اللي هو بقول شنو Pythagoras theorem بيقول the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the addition of the square of the two other sides, correct? مربع الوتر بيساوي مجموع مربعي الضلعين الآخرين مثلا. Okay. So يعني it's like x square is equal to some a square plus b square if you like. Okay, and like that. So again it is فيها x square الاريا نفس الحكاية etc. Here we have if we throw any on an object upward, okay, so it will go and then come back to reach the ground here. Okay, if we throw it, let's say, for instance, from this height, S not, if it is not from the ground. So from here, we throw it. Then to find the height of this object at any time, height from where? From the ground. يعني if it reach here, يبقى height from the ground is this. Here, this is the S. Okay, and etc. So the trajectory بتاع this object is just like that. It will go through like this till it reach again the ground. Okay, there is a certain formula to find this height. If that is the case, and we throw a rocket, for instance, upward or something like that, where what is S naught? S naught is the initial height. So this is the initial height S naught. V naught, the initial velocity when you throw it up. What was the initial velocity that it was moving with? This is V naught. T, the time after 1 second, after 2 seconds. Okay, you want to know where is your مثلا rock here, here, here. After 3 seconds, 1.2 seconds, whatever. Clear? And g is the acceleration due to the gravity, and we know that the acceleration due to the gravity is equal to what? 9.8 meter per second square. Okay, if I'm using the metric system, if I'm using the other, so it is 32 feet per second square. Okay, so this is a constant number اللي هو g. التي عايز الهايت after how many seconds. الvelocity v naught هي الانيشال. What was the initial velocity of the rocket or whatever. Okay, and s naught the initial height. طبعا if I throw it from the ground itself يبقى the initial height this is going to be equal to 0. لو كان انا رميته من هنا هتعود بالاس نوت 0 because there is no height دايما or always شنو مثلا from where you have to look after from where you throw the rocket. So here no height from the ground because I throw it from here. Okay, clear? So this is a formula. Now in this formula, if you look after it, it is what? It is again a quadratic equation. Why? It is quadratic in t. What is the variable? A variable t. So you have t squared. Okay, so this is one of the application. Yes, yani we are dealing with quadratic formula. For instance, if I want to find the solution for this, now it is, you know, quadratic equation. So this is an example for the application for quadratic equations. Okay, so it's clear what is t, what is v naught, what is s naught, what is s. Type here, there is an example. A diver jumps approximately straight upward from a diving board 3 meters above the water. يعني أنا كان عندي a board, الهايت إذا كان ده ground, عندي a board here somewhere, الهايت حقه from the ground, this one which is S naught, so S naught is equal to 3. Okay, with initial velocity يبقى we throw it upward أو he jumped upward. كان initial velocity of it كم؟ V naught اللي هي بتساوي 5 this 5. Okay, and then he need me to write a model to express the height S. Okay, for that jumper. So he moved like this, he up, and then he will come down to the water here. Yes. طيب عندي الفي نوت يبقى انا I have the formula. الفورمولا كانت بتقول شنو؟ بتقول S بتساوي minus half G T square plus V naught T plus S naught. So I have S naught by 3, V naught by 5, correct? The G, I'm using the metric system, meter per second. G is what? 9.8, correct? And then we substitute here. This is the formula that using it, I can know after any time where the how far is the jumper from the water. Okay, from the surface of the water. Okay. طيب. Now find the time required for the diver to hit the water. طيب. أنا عندي I reach here. طيب. He asked me when the jumper will reach the water. طبعا if I substitute here for instance after 1 second, okay, I can know the height. يعني مثلا when t is equal to 1, then I know that s هتكون بتساوي minus 4.9 plus 5 plus 3. So I can calculate and I can find the height exactly from the ground. So how far he is from the ground, I can find it like that. Now the question was he needs the time, not the S, because here I have two unknowns عندي مجهولين. One of them is the height and the other is the time. If I gave you the time, you can give me the height. Now the opposite. He gave me the height and he wants what? He wants the time. Correct? I can find the time. Type. What was the question now? When he or the diver will reach the water. 200 حيصل يبقى what information? What is the height in this case? Tell me, what is the height in this case? When he reached the water, what will be the height? هل S, I know it? Reach the water, that means he reached here. Yeah, exactly, it is 0. So that is 0 is equal to minus 4.9 t square plus 5t plus 3. Isn't it a quadratic equation? Yeah. If I can factorize, I go and factorize it like that. If I want to use completing the bracket, I can do. I need something square is equal to some constant here and then solve. Or more easily, I now have a formula that I can use it here to find the solution, to find the t. So t is equal and put the formula and find طبعا في النص في plus or minus and then over 2a, correct? طيب, what is the a? This is our a. What is the b? This is our b. Yes. And this is the c, and substitute in the formula to get the time. Type. So here he substitute in the formula and he did the calculations and he reached here. Under the square root, it is positive. Make sure صح? It is a positive quantity. I will have two solutions. After making the calculation, you're going to get بدل x طبعا t هي الزمن t either minus 4.2, which is rejected لأنه دائما the time should be a positive quantity. So we will take this solution, which is 1.44 second. That means he will reach the water after 1.44 second, or the surface of the water. Yes? Clear? Is it clear? And it's clear here only one time. So this is the time where he reached. By the way, البن negative مفروض if I imagine that he start here, he will be before that بكده second. Oh, anyway, it's not the solution. This is the solution. Okay? Clear? طيب. يبقى we knew how to solve a quadratic equation in different ways. وفهمنا يعني شنو الquadratic equation. لا عوضنا صفر محل المسافة. Why? Tell me. لو الجسم وصل هنا ارتفاعه كم؟ دائما انا قلت الارتفاع بنحسبه من وين؟ From a surface to where you want. طيب الهايت حيكون كم؟ في البداية كان الهايت this one. From here up to here كان 3 meter. طيب when he comes here, what is the height? الارتفاع كم؟ It is 0. ما في ارتفاع. Clear? Yeah. طيب. Now, okay. Now, what if we have any other polynomial? If we can write this polynomial as a product, okay, or as a product مثلا of linear، يعني هنا تكون linear equation في الفورم ax plus b، or quadratic في الفورم ax square plus bx plus c, okay, some terms like that, and then is equal to 0. Easily still I can solve that polynomial. Why? Because we had before, if something times whatever is equal to 0, that means this is equal to 0, or this is equal to 0, or that is equal to 0, correct? يبقى for this to be equal to 0, either this one is equal to 0, and we knew how to solve what a linear equation, or this is equal to 0, and we knew how to solve شنو الquadratic equation لما يكون عندي الطرف هنا 0, correct? حتى لو كان this part also another quadratic يبقى or this part is equal to 0, and we can solve. يبقى we can find out the different solutions. يبقى لو if we have any polynomial, if we could write it as a product, okay, of linear equations ولا quadratic equations, we can solve يبقى شنو this polynomial. Yes, let's see that. Let's take an example. Here there is an example. طيب هل this equation linear? No. هل quadratic? No. عشان تكون linear we knew the form صح. It's not linear, it's not quadratic. Actually it's a polynomial. الديجري حقتها كم؟ 3. طيب can I solve it? Yes, because I can write it as a multiplication of what? Let us see first. What this equation remind you? It is in the form, I can write it in the form of a cube plus b cube, correct? And we knew that any equation like that or polynomial like this is, we can write it اللي هو addition of two cubes, correct? This is equal to the first plus the second, correct? Times the first square, a square, minus a في b plus b square. So don't forget, correct? Yes. يبقى لو كان عندنا equation like this, اللي هي polynomial like that, okay, فيها two terms, we had it before, we can write it as this. And by the way, if you expand this, if you multiply this by this, you're going to end up here. Make sure, go and do it as a homework. Okay, type. Let's do that. Now our equation is 8x cubed plus, can I write it in this form? Yes, I can write an 8 as 2 cube x cube plus, what is the 125? It is 5 cube. 5 في 5 به 25 في 5 it is 125. Yes, so actually this is equal to this is 2x the whole cube plus 5 cube. Yes, and this is equal to what? Now we can use this rule here. Yeah, okay, this is equal to the first plus the second. طيب الفيرست اللي هو هيكون 2x plus the second which is 5. طيب في الفيرست square, what is the first? 2x, so 2x the whole square minus الفيرست في السكند صح. 5 في 2 ب 10x and then آخر حاجة b square اللي هي البي اوكي اللي هي في 5 تربيع 25. Okay, 2x the whole square, this term I can write it as 4x square. يبقى بقت عندي 4x square minus 10x plus 25, correct? So this is a bracket and this is another bracket, 2x plus 5. And don't forget here equal to 0. So we have this is equal to 0. That means this part here is equal to 0. يبقى now I have a bracket times another bracket is equal to 0. That means either this one is equal to 0 or this one is equal to 0. Yes, I can solve, I can find the values of the x. What are the values of the x? X equal to what? Okay, so we solve this part, that is هيكون عندي 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. ده من المعادلة الأولى. This implies x is equal to minus 5 over 2, correct? يبقى we get the first solution from here. يبقى المعادلات اللينير على فكرة only unique solution بتلقى حل واحد is a quadratic maximum of 2 solutions. ما ممكن تطلع ثلاثة solution من الحد دي. اوكي طيب now this term اللي هي quadratic equation and we have the formula, we can use it to solve this part. Okay, what is your A now? What is your A? This is my A. What is your B? This is my B. What is your C? This is the 25. This is the C. Take the formula اللي هي minus B plus or minus square root of B square minus 4AC and then over 2A. And then I can solve and find the different values. Type when we solve, we found this. Substitute as a homework, you and substitute were here. and you have the A and B and C. So what you get, we get this. So it is imaginary solution. So we get what? The imaginary solution. يبقى the first solution is this one, and the second is the one with the positive, and the third is the one with the negative. So three solutions I have. Okay, لأن هي الأوردر حقها 3. At, at most you can get 3 solutions. لما يكون الباور 3. So here we have 3 solutions. One of them is real solution. Okay, in particular it is rational solution, and here 2 other imaginary solution. يبقى بالبلس ده الحل الأول اللي هي حيكون 5 over 4 plus square root sorry 5 square root of 3 over 4i. So this is the second solution. الثاني take it بدل plus, take it with the minus. Is it clear? يبقى البولينوميال, if I can write any polynomial in a form of a multiplication of linear equations or quadratic equations like this, or some linear or some quadratic, so I can solve it. Why? Because if this is equal to 0, that means this part is equal to 0 or this part is equal to 0. حتى لو كان في part ثالث and linear or quadratic, or the third one equal to 0, and etc. Okay, so we can find the different solutions. If you want to make sure, take this one, substitute it back here. You're going to find that it is equal to 0. Even if you take this part, 5 over 4 plus 5 square root of 3 على 4i, this one, and you substitute with here, you're going to get that the answer is going to be equal to 0. Yes? We knew before how to multiply an imaginary number, complex number في a complex number. If you want to test anyway. Type. Now we want to solve also a new type of equation. What if I have a radical equation like that? Okay, it's not quadratic, it's not linear. I cannot write it in terms of this, yani on the first look. So how can I solve this kind of equation when there is a radical like that? Now we have a third root. Type to solve this kind of problems, I'll tell you the steps. First, take the radical, put it in one hand, okay? And the real numbers, take them to the other hand and simplify them. يبقى the first step, what I'll do, take the 2 to the other hand and leave the radical in one hand. يبقى حيكون عندنا شنو؟ حتبقى square root, sorry, the third root of x minus 1 is equal to 6 minus 2, so it is equal to 4. لا، هي المسألة أصلا فيها جذر التكعيبي، بخليه في حتته لكن في سايد لحاله. اوكي، واخذ الاعداد كلها الباقي حوديها في السايد اي حاجه تاني غير الثيرد روت حوديها حتى لو كان في اكس، لو كان في اي حاجه I'll take it to the other hand. بس حخلي الحاجه اللي فيها او اللي فيها الجذر اللي عايزه اتخلص منه، الجذر الثالث مثلا هنا عايزه اتخلص منه، هخلي ده في hand and all the others I put them here in this hand. And then after that what I'll do, يبقى دي first step. A second step, how can I get rid of the root? Okay, how can I get rid of that radical part, الراديكال الروت الثird root? Just take، احنا قلنا if I have any equation, what we do في left hand side we have to do it في right hand side to make it, you know, still equal. Equality holds. Okay. طيب يبقى the second thing, what I will cube this part and I will cube this part as well. So when you cube this part, what will happen? This is actually as if it is like x minus 1. What is the meaning of the third root? It is 1 to the power 3, correct? 1 to the power 3. 1. Yes, ده معناه a third root. طيب now what if I cubed both hands؟ معناها this is to the power 3 and this is equal 4 to the power 3 like that. Correct? طيب what is this؟ اللي هو 1 over 3 times 3 ب 1. it cancel. أنا عملتها مخصوص عشان to cancel it صح؟ يبقى now the equation هتبقى شنو؟ after that after this is going to be x minus 1 is equal to 4 cube اللي هي 4 في 4 ب 16 في 4 ب 64 64. And now easily I can solve the equation that is x بتساوي 64 plus 1 which is 65. يبقى what is the solution أو الset لو قال لي set of solution طوالي لازم I have to open the curly bracket. هل في أكتر من one solution؟ No, only one solution. يبقى I am going to put it like that. The what is the value of x or what is the solution خلاص enough x equal to 65. As a set of solution put it in sets like that. So is it clear? If I have a radical equation, how we can solve it? Yeah. Okay. How we can solve it? We put it in one hand, a radical, and then we try to get rid of this root. So the third root, يبقى I have to cube both hand to get rid of this. لو كان to the power fourth root يبقى to the power 4. لو fifth root to the power 5. Correct? And etc. To get rid of them. Okay? Now, if I have an equation, okay, we knew that في roots, nth root. طيب, what if it was something to the power m over n and this is equal to k? Like something مثلا to the power ممكن تكون 4 over 3 ممكن تكون something ممكن يكون 5 over 3 or whatever. We have to look after the m. Look, is it even ولا odd? Why is that? We knew before. مثلا, if I have u square is equal to 16. Here, الpower اللي هو just like the m here, it is even. We say that u is equal to what? A radical بتاع 16. Okay, square root of the 16, but we put plus or minus when this is even number. Okay, but if it was odd, يعني u كانت cube is equal to whatever 125 or whatever. So this is هاخد the third root of 125. I am not going to put plus or minus when this is odd. Yes. So u بتساوي no, just that root. We had this before. Yes. يبقى I have to look لو كان this is 2, كان 4, لو كان 6, even number, then when taking the radical, don't forget to put here plus or minus. Okay. طيب, let's come back here again. Okay. So we said that it's very important to look اللي هو الpower raised to m over n. M, is it odd or even? Okay. So if we have u, m over n بتساوي some number here k. Let's assume first talk about what if m is odd. Okay, and now we want to solve. What I do, I want you, when you want to solve, you want to know u is equal to what? Okay, so I want to get rid of this. صح؟ يبقى how we do that? I'll take u m over n الباور حقها الexponent to the power n over m, because when I multiply, they will cancel this with this and this with this. So this is equal to k to the power what? N over m. What we do for the left hand side, we have to do it here. I raised it to n over m, so I have to raise it here over to raise it to the power n over m. So that is going to be the solution. So immediately u is equal to k to the power n over m. Type what if كانت m is even? Now the case if m is even number. Okay, لو كانت m is even. طيب what we do هي البروبلم كانت شنو؟ u to the power m over n is equal to k. So we want to find u is equal to what? What we do? Again, we raise it to the power n over m. And here, what we did in the left-hand side, we have to do it for right-hand side, correct? Type. But m is even, so that is, I should put plus or minus, like what we did here in the previous example. Is it clear? Okay. Now let's solve this one. C is equal C to the power عندنا شنو المسألة C to the power 2 over 5 is equal to 4. I have to look ده هنا تحت the root. It's not my problem. My problem C الباور شنو الفوق M. Okay, so it is even. يبقى it is even. That means I will have plus or minus. يبقى what we do C to the power 2 over 5 كلها raised to the power 5 over 2. So this is equal to 4 raised to the power 5 over 2 only? No, don't forget plus or minus. Okay, and you have the calculator if you want to solve, or easily, because this is the that is square plus or minus square root of 4. Okay, you can get it easily, and then to the power 5. What is the square root of 4? It is 2. So plus or minus 2, and then to the power 5. So 2 to the power 5, which is 32. So it is plus or minus 32. Okay, so I have two solutions. C 32 and C minus 32. And if you take it and substitute it here, you're going to get 4. Clear? Type. Solving equation in a quadratic form. Type. Some of the equations, they could not be in the quadratic form. But again, I can solve it using the quadratic form if possible. Okay, يعني for instance, here this equation. Okay, it's not quadratic لأن الquadratics الquadratic equation هي لازم تكون ax square plus bx plus c. But here there is radicals. Okay, but what comes to my mind here, al power 2 and here 1. So what comes to your mind that I can reach here if I took a certain substitution. If I put x to the power 1 over 3 is equal to a certain number, let's say u, let's call it m, n, as you like. So this equation, you can write it as what? You will find that this equation is going to be equal to x بدل هي دي عبارة عن شنو؟ دي عبارة عن this equation, it's actually x square. I can write it like that to the power أو أعمل العكس خليني. It's the same. I can write it as okay x to the power 1 over 3 and then square, correct? Minus 3 x to the power 1 over 3 and by then minus 4 is equal to 0. So if I can take x to the power 1 over 3 equal to u, so this equation will be equal to u square minus 3u minus 4 is equal to 0, which now it is in this form. And it's a quadratic equation في شنو؟ في variable u, correct? Now I can solve it either to factorize or to complete the bracket or to use the formula. And this one is easily, you can factorize if you know how to factorize two numbers. Their multiplication is -4, the whole multiplication of A في B is equal to -4, and their addition is -3. That is A plus B is equal to -3. So what are these numbers? It is -4 وال1, correct? -4 في 1 ب -4 و -4 plus 1 is -3. So easily I can factorize this to be u -4 like that في u plus 1. This is equal to 0. يبقى خلاص either this part is equal to 0 or this part is equal to 0. يبقى u is equal to 4 or u is equal to -1. Okay, but is it the solution of this equation? No, because it's not u. My equation was in x to the power 1 over 3, but there is a relation between u and this one. So what was the u? I substituted u بإنها x to the power 1 over 3. So that is x to the power 1 over 3 is equal to 4. This implies what? Take cube both hands as we did before. So that is x is going to be equal to 4 cube, correct? Which is 64. Or else في حالة u equal to -1, that is x to the power 1 over 3 is equal to -1, correct? يبقى I cube both hands. يبقى حيكون عندي شنو? To the power 3 to the power 3. So it's going to be equal x is equal -1 to the power 3, and that is equal to -1. X equal to -1. يبقى عندي this is a solution or this one. صح؟ ما باخد دقيقة واقول this is the solution because actually it wasn't u صح؟ Square. What is the it is yeah I write it as u square, so it wasn't like x square minus, it was x to the power 2 over 3 في relation between u وال x, so you have to find at the end what is your x. Clear? Clear? Any question for now? طيب now the linear inequalities. We want to talk about the linear inequalities. Okay, linear اللي هي المفروض تكون ax plus b لو equation equal to 0. Yes. طيب inequality, that is we're going to use that greater than or greater than or equal, less than or less than or equal. We are going to use this sign. It's not an equal here anymore. Okay, but it is here this part ax plus b like that. Okay, so we will have either ax plus b less than 0 or less than or equal to 0 or this or that. This is the inequality in one variable في متغير واحد. Okay, x ولا u ولا v ولا y ولا whatever. Okay. طيب what we have. طيب لو كان عندي a و b و c represent real numbers. Okay, if we have a number like مثلا 2 is less than 3, what I do في left hand side and I do in the right hand side, هل it will keep the inequality holds ولا لا؟ طب what في حالة الاديشن؟ في حالة الاديشن if I add it here مثلا 4 2 plus 4 و here هل still 3 plus 4 it holds ولا لا؟ yeah 6 is less than 7 then it holds. يبقى you can add a number from here, so still the equality will be, the inequality will be there. Clear? Also, if you subtract, if you subtract any number, مثلا 2 minus 3 less than 3 minus 3 or no, 2 minus 3 is going to be equal to minus 1. هل minus 1 less than 0? Yes, it holds. Yeah, يبقى I can add to both hand, well, inequality will hold. Or I can subtract. Also, if you multiplied 2 times 4, 8. طيب 3 times 4, 12. The 8 is less than the 12. It will hold as well. Is a I multiplied, correct? But make sure you multiply times a positive number. What if you multiply times a negative number? يبقى في حالة المultiplication, if I am multiplying time a positive number, then the inequality will hold. طيب, what if you multiply times a negative number? طيب, let's say, what if I multiply times 2? 2 minus 2, okay? Can I say it is less than 3 times minus 2 or no? 2 times minus 2 is going to be equal to minus 4. هل هي less than minus 6? No, that's wrong. When you multiply time a negative number, what you will do, you have to change في حالة النيجاتيف, change the inequality, sign تحت inequality. هتبقى شنو؟ هتبقى greater. يعني here this is going to be, بدل دي هتبقى شنو؟ هتبقى greater. We change it like that. Okay, so if you multiply by a negative number, we will change the sign. Okay, the same for the division. If you divide over a positive number, keep the inequality as it is. But if you divide over a negative number, you have to change the inequality. بدل ما كانت less هتبقى greater. Clear؟ يبقى if you add it, it will remain the same. If you subtract, it will remain the same. Okay, if C is a positive number and we have A less than B, then also the inequality will hold be the same. Okay, هنا less than, هنا حتكون less than. A times C is less than B زي ما هنا B times C. وحتى بالنسبة للdivision A over C is less than B over C. But if C is negative, في حالة المultiplication, what will happen? The sign بدل ما كانت less than is going to change to greater than. And also, if I'm dividing over a negative, is going to be greater than. Clear? Okay. وبرضو these properties will hold لو كانت less than or equal, greater than or equal. نفس الrules اللي here, you will apply them for this same way. Clear? طيب. Now, what if we want to solve this kind of a linear inequalities? What we do the same way when we solve linear equation. لما كان عندنا linear equation 2x plus 3 is equal to مثلا 5. How we solve? Take this one to this hand, correct? And then make x the in one hand alone, okay? And so we at the end will divide over 2, correct? So it's going to be 2x is equal to 5 minus 3, which is 2. 2x is equal to 2. So now we have x as a subject alone. So what do? We divide here over 2 and we divide here over 2. That implies x بتساوي 1. ده في حالة equality. Okay. Here, but instead of we will have only one solution, we can have many solutions. Why? Because here there is sign of inequality. Let's see. Let's do that. This example. طيب اللي هو عندنا شنو؟ minus 4x minus 7 greater than or equal to 9. Take the minus 7 to the other hand. يبقى حيكون عندنا minus 4x is greater than or equal. Take this one here. يبقى حتكون 9 plus 7, which is 16. Correct? Now we divide over what? Over a negative number, which is minus 4. So that is what we will happen. This will change when I'm dividing over -4. يعني here when I divide over -4 both hand يبقى هتكون x is less than or equal. It's going to be 16 على -4 is -4. Okay, يبقى the relation will be like that. يبقى this is the solution. طيب, what is the meaning of this solution? If you have the real line, this is your real line. Okay, فيه النمبرز مثلا هي 0 -1 -2 -3 -4 and going like that. صح؟ طيب minus أنا my solution x will take the values that is less than or equal -4. Equal -4 معناها -4 is included or less than it. Less where always the smaller you go to the left. صح? If I need the bigger I go this side. But it is he said that less دائما the opening towards the bigger number. يبقى لما نجي أقرأ x is less than or equal al -4. If you're reading from this going like that, so we say -4 is greater than or equal al x. But always we read from left to the right. So x is less than or equal -4. So less than or equal it like that. You go like that. So every number here will satisfy the inequality. Okay, so either you write it like that, لو كان multiple choice he gave it the solution like that, then it's okay, or we can write it as an interval. It goes لحد وين؟ لحد minus infinity. So from minus infinity, and we said open bracket from this side, and up to -4. -4 is there or no? It is there. Why? Because there is equal here. So we put a closed bracket from this side. So this is the solution of my inequality. A set of numbers. It's not only one value like this one before. Here, all the numbers between minus infinity and up to -4, including the -4. Okay? Now we want to know, what do we mean by a union of two sets? Union of two sets, that is, if we have this is a set and this is another set. So the union, that is all the things, all the elements, we will put them, okay, in one set, biggest set. يعني لو كان عندي هنا set مثلا فيه 1 و 2, okay, and عندي another set, let's call it A, and the another set B. Let's say that it includes the number 2, 3. So what is A union B? A union B, it will give me all the elements that are here and here as well. Okay, so elements here are either في first set or في second set or in both. زي 2, it's here and here. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3, and no need for the repetition, صح? So this is the union set. يبقى what is in A and what is in B. Okay, وبرضه طبعا معناها اخذت في الانترسكشن بتاعهم اللي هو في التقاطع like the number 2 here. So this is the union of two sets. Put all the things that are in A and are in B as well. Okay, في one bigger set. So this is my new set. Now what is the intersection of two? And we write it like that, A union B. Okay, the intersection, that is the element that are common in the set A and also available there in the set B. Like what? Like the number 2. طيب what if I need A intersection B? يبقى the set A intersection B is equal, هو set طبعا فيه شنو الاليمنت حقه شنو 2. This is the intersection, A intersection B. Okay, so here it's this area, the things that are in A and are in B as well. Okay, so it is this part. Okay, now لو كان عندي two inequalities are joined by the word and معناه intersection, that means I need a solution, elements that are in here and as well are there, that is the intersection معنى and. Okay, طيب مثلا solve 2x less than 6 and x plus 5 greater than or equal to 4. So I need the values that satisfy this inequality and as well satisfy that inequality. يبقى first we solve for this one. هيكون عندي شنو x less than divide both hand over 6 يبقى هيكون عندي x less than 3. So the first solution أو if you can x less than 3. طيب يبقى شنو؟ إذا كانت دي 3 يبقى from 3 and up to minus infinity صح؟ up to where minus infinity. يبقى a solution in this case اللي هو elements from minus infinity and up to the 3. طيب now we come to the second one. This x okay اللي هو minus 1 is less than or equal to x or x is greater than or equal to minus 1. طيب if we draw the line this is the minus 1. So your x is greater than or equal to minus 1. يبقى from here and to there. Okay, so your interval is what is from minus 1 and up to infinity. Okay, what is the intersection of these two sets? Okay, لأنه هنا قال لي and satisfy it should satisfy this and should satisfy the other equation اللي هي x plus الايكويشن الثانيه طبعا هي كانت كانت x plus 5 greater than or equal to 4 يبقى ال x take the 5 there يبقى ال x greater than or equal to minus 1. Okay, actually okay the first one can from the 3 from minus infinity and up to the 3 like that. Okay, 3 is included ولا لا 3 is not included, it's open from here لأنه ما في equality. What is the other set? The other set from minus 1 and up to what? And up to infinity like that. هل minus 1 is included? Yes لأنه هنا في شنو? Equality. يبقى minus 1 is here. يبقى what is the intersection between of the two sets? It is it is all this one, this part. يبقى what is the solution? The solution is from minus 1 and up to 3. It is this set. Yes, it is this part common between the two. Okay, clear? يبقى ال and معناها الانترسكشن. Okay, and is the intersection. طيب. What if we find an equality like that? What's the meaning of this? This, it is like the and, the same. It is x greater than a تاخد دي السايد ده برا and x less than b. If we have an equation written like that, it means x greater than a and x is less than b. Okay. Type how we solve it if we have this equation, how we can solve it. If you want to separate it into two and then solve, it's okay, but no need for that. No need. How can I deal with this? خلاص. Look at and احنا what we need and x values that x can take. يبقى I need to have x alone. What I do? Here I want to get rid of the 4. What I do? I subtract 4 from each part. يبقى هتبقى عندي شنو لما I subtract 4 from each part. هنا x plus 4 minus 4 يبقى هتكون x تبقى less than or equal. I have to subtract from the 8 4. From the 8 4. 8 minus 4, so it is 4. And here minus 7, and I also have to subtract 4, so it's going to be minus 11. So now this is my inequality. Okay, what's the meaning there? The values of x, what a solution, all the values x such that it is greater than or minus 11. Okay, this is the minus 11. Greater than or equal. ما في equal, sorry, greater than psi. يبقى 9 minus 11 is not there and up to infinity. And should satisfy لأنه قلنا الحالة بتاعت written like this, that means and should satisfy x less than or equal to 4. Type if the 4 here should be less than or equal to 4. ال 4 included? Yes, ال 4 included. يبقى here it's like this, and يبقى the solution is this region here. So we can write the interval. How we can write it? It is from minus 11 open ولا close. في quality ما في quality. يبقى it's open from here. And up to where? Up to 4. Close the bracket ولا open. Close لأنه في quality from this side. So that is the solution. If we have an equality like that, we have to end up by x. Okay, هنا لازم تبقى x. بعدين less than what you do here, you have to do it here and do it here till here you reach x alone. Okay, and then you find the solution. So x, all the numbers that are greater from than -1 and less than 4, which is this interval. Type if two inequalities are joined by or. طب or هو اليونيون. اليونيون to have them all together, correct? قلنا or هو اليونيون. So if I have this set and this set, I put all the elements in one bigger set for the union. Yes. طيب if we have -3 is greater than 12. Okay, I need y alone. That means what I'll divide each side by -3. And we said when we are dividing over a negative number, we're going to change the sign here, correct? So it's going to be equal y is less than 12 على -3 -4. So this is the first. Yes. Or what? Now we have this one. We want the y alone, and then here, and then a +7. So I have to subtract 7 from each hand. يبقى the second equation اللي حتكون شنو؟ y is greater than or equal 9 minus 7 اللي هي حتكون شنو؟ 2. Okay. يبقى هي عندي I'm joining them by or. Okay, so what's that? Y less than -4. يبقى دي -4. So I need all the elements here. Okay. And I need what? Y is greater than 2. This is 2. This all the elements here greater than or equal معهم هذا دي. Okay. So what I need all this part لحد infinity and all this part لحد infinity. ليه؟ لأنه I'm getting the union. So يبقى from minus infinity and up to -4. here طبعا open minus 4 sign only ما في quality يبقى open هنا the bracket union. Okay, what is the other interval? Also I need the elements or numbers from 2 and up to infinity. طيب the bracket open ولا close? It should be closed لأنه كانت عندي شنو؟ عندي هنا equality. So close bracket here from the side of the 2 and up to infinity like that. Okay, so this is the solution. لما يكون عندي or everything you have it. Okay, so there is a difference between or and. طيب لو كان قال لي and by the way لو قال لي and في الحالة دي what is the solution? What do you think? This interval intersection this interval هل في حاجة common؟ في حاجة مشتركة هنا وهنا؟ No. يبقى كان حيكون empty set no solution. Okay? Yeah, no intersection. يبقى كان حيكون عندي empty set phi. Okay? كان حيكون عندنا ال empty set احنا we represent it like this or like that. يبقى no أو ممكن أقول no solution. لو كان عايز شنو؟ لو كان عايز الانترسكشن وكان عايز التقاطع بدل الأور في this example. طيب عندنا properties بالنسبة للabsolute value equation. طيب إذا كانت عندي أي معادلة or whatever variable okay and we have the absolute value of this part is equal to some k. Okay, and we want the solution. Okay, so we want the u at the end. Type. I have to look after the k. في three possibilities. Either first one الk تساوي a positive number أو الk is zero or الk is negative number. يبقى في three different cases before I start solution. طيب إذا كانت k positive I can get the u and we say that u هنا u is equal to plus or minus k. Okay, عارفين احنا الموديولس if this is negative هيبقى positive ولو كان positive هيبقى negative. So u is plus or minus k. Okay. طيب لو كانت دي zero immediately you will say what? u is equal to zero and that's it. طيب what if it was negative? Immediately no solution. Why? Because the modulus, that means I'm going, this should be positive. The answer should be positive. صح لما تاخد الموديولس يبقى بنقول no solution. Okay, clear? يبقى if we have a modulus for whatever here is equal to k, I have to look after the k when I'm solving. Is it positive or negative or equal to zero? Positive, then u is equal to plus or minus k. Zero, u is equal to zero. If negative, so no solution. Moreover, there is one case, another case. What if it was the modulus of u is equal to the modulus of w? يبقى in this case what يا إما u بتساوي w زي الحالة بتاعت البوزيتيف لأنه this is now going to be positive. So u is equal to w or u is equal to minus w. So this is the solution in this case. Okay. Now let's take an example. عندنا المودulus of x minus 3 plus 5 is equal to 10. We want to solve. قال لي solve معناه عايزة قيمة x, the value of the x. يبقى now we first of all we take this one and put it in this hand وحيكون عندنا شنو? Always we said that لو عندنا equality أو inequality we have to do this صح؟ x minus 3 this is equal to 10 minus 5 which is equal to 5. طيب now we'll solve. Is it in the same formula like this? Yeah. Positive ولا negative? It is k is positive. So what is that solution? عندي حيكون two solutions. X minus 3 is equal to 5 or else you know x minus 3 is equal to minus 5. Okay, so what about this one? يبقى حيكون عندنا x هتساوي 5 plus 3 which is 8 or now take this one there or x is equal to minus 2. So I have two solutions. This is the first and this is the second, okay? Or you can put them in a set. So you open the set and you put the two. Don't forget the curly bracket معناها set معناها I have only this and this. لو كان في عندك حاجة في brackets like this is an interval. All the numbers in between these two numbers, which is quite different than that. Clear? Okay. يبقى وهنا كان عندي equality ما كانت inequality. طيب. Now برضو the equation 2x plus 3 is equal to minus 9. If we want to solve it, what we said, k is negative, then no solution. K is negative, so no solution, correct? يبقى no solution. طيب what about this one? 2x minus 10 is equal. So يعني معناه كأنه this positive quantity يبقى I am going to consider two cases, correct? The first one اللي هو حيكون عندنا شنو؟ 2x minus 10 is equal to x plus 2 and then solve. Well, second case هل حيكون عندي شنو؟ 2x minus 10 is equal to minus, don't forget minus all what's coming next, x plus 2. Yes, and then solve this for x and solve that for x and get the values. هيطلع لي هنا x تساوي 12 and then or x. if لو حليتها هيطلع لك 8 over 3. So I have two solutions. This is the first and this is the second. Open the curly bracket and put them. Okay. لو قال لك what are the values of x 12 و 8 over 3. ممكن يسألني one of the solutions لو كانت true or false. هل 12 one of the solution? Then I say true. هل 8 over 3 one لو اداني رقم ثالث مثلا هل 0 one of the solution? Definitely no. Okay. طيب now we have other properties. احنا لما كنا حلينا لليو here كنا اخذنا شنو؟ كان في equality. اخذنا في حالة equality. Now we want to solve for the case of the inequality. لو كانت عندي inequality. طيب if we want to solve this modulus less than k, this is the same as what? This is the same as okay لازم okay هنا I'm considering a positive k is positive. Okay. طيب if this is the case, then u less than k. This implies what? U is less than k and u is greater than minus k. And we knew this one, we can write it like this. Okay, so u is greater than minus k and u is less than k, like that. And then you solve على حسب اليو كانت شنو. Okay, so don't forget لو كانت ال k is positive, so we write this, we can write it like that. And then we solve the equation like we did before. طيب لو كانت الساين u greater بدل less greater than k, okay, يبقى حتكون شنو؟ u greater than k كويس مع and or لأنه الانترفلز عكس بعض or u is what is less than minus k. So this case is لو كانت دي ال k is going to be like this, okay, minus k here, so it is this interval. Okay, دي في حالة أكبر من ال k. So أكبر من ال k, okay, this part. طيب or less than minus k, this part. في حين إنه this one لما يكون u is less than k, it's going to be what? If this is the k and this is the minus k, so it is greater than minus k, so it is this. It's less than the k, then it is this. So يبقى the part here. This is the solution. While here the solution, this part or معناها union this part. Okay, clear? يبقى we don't forget. And even لو كان هنا في equality, we do the same. بس هنا هناخد equal, هنا هناخد equal. So here equal and here في برضه equal. لو كانت greater than or equal, same solution بس هي هيكون less than or equal وهنا هيكون greater than or equal. Clear؟ يبقى في حالة less than k and k is positive هيكون عبارة عن الانترسكشن of the interval u greater than minus k and less than k. في حالة أنه greater than أو greater than or equal to k, then the solution is كده or كده. اوكي طيب خليني طوالي أقول إذا كانت negative. طيب هل ممكن يكون this absolute value يبقى احنا we consider خلينا هنا طوالي for the negative case لو كانت k is negative. اوكي خلينا نسميها 7. اوكي لو كانت k negative what do you think u is less than k. هل possible؟ مستحيل يحصل صح ولا لا؟ لأنه القيمة دي المفروض تديني قيمة موجبة. كيف تبقى أقل من قيمة وهي سالبة مثلا minus 3 minus 2 minus 7 مستحيل. So this is like impossible. No solution. اوكي أو بمعنى ثاني قلنا شنو؟ No solution. طيب الحالة الأخيرة what if u he said that greater than k where k is a negative. This is always true. أي قيمة هنا لازم تكون أكبر من أي قيمة سالبة صح؟ لأنه عندي الموديولس. So يبقى here what is the solution؟ يبقى solution كل الريل line R is a solution. كل الريل line every real number is a solution. So this is always true. This is always true. Okay, clear? Let's take some examples for this part. Okay, here, x plus 7 minus 3 less than or equal to 4. First of all, what we do, we take this to the other hand here. We get this one less than or equal to the 7, where we are. الحاجة positive number. And less. يبقى this one, we can write it in this formula, correct? يبقى هيكون x plus 7 less than or equal to 7 greater than or equal to minus 7 where there is the intersection, correct? Okay, and then what we do عايزين here x alone, so we subtract 7 from all sides. يبقى هتبقى شنو x هتبقى شنو هتبقى x less than or equal to 0 greater than or equal to minus 7 minus 14, correct? Okay, so that is from where to where? That is all from minus 14 and up to what? And up to 0, correct? A solution. طيب الانترفلز closed ولا open؟ عندي equality في الاثنين يبقى closed يبقى from here and up to here. So يبقى close bracket from minus 14 and up to the 0 like that. Okay? The next example, x plus 5 greater than 5 number positive صح؟ Yes. طيب and this sign is greater than. يبقى here where we are here. يبقى either this or that the solution. Okay. يبقى هيكون either x plus 1 what greater نفس العلامة للpositive greater than 5 or نعكس العلامة ونحط الماينس x plus 1 less than the minus 5. Okay, so I solved this hand and I solved that hand as we did before. هيديني x less than minus 6 or x greater than 4. So what is the solution? It is, this is the minus 6 and it's open from here and up to minus infinity, and the other hand greater than 4. So this is the 4 and greater ما في equality يبقى هيكون open from here and up to infinity. يبقى what is the يبقى هيكون minus infinity to minus 6 و union 4 to infinity. So this is the solution for that inequality. Clear? طيب now another example, 5x plus 6 modulus is less than minus 4. This is a negative number. مستحيل الموديولس يكون شنو؟ less than number لأنه لازم يكون عدد موجب الحل صح؟ يبقى has no solution. طب lastly 3y plus 4 this modulus is greater than minus 3. He needs what value of y؟ هتديني أعداد أكبر من الناقص 3. Every real number أي عدد سالب ولا موجب ولا ليه؟ لأنه there is a modulus here. يبقى this value is going to turn into positive. Yes, يبقى all this is always true. كل real line is a solution. Our solution هو R. Okay, so this was the last PowerPoint. We finished the chapter and we finished all the parts required in quiz 2. So if you have any question, you can ask.